And right now then I'm going to be starting and streaming the first game that I've missed before. But to have the full experience of the match, we are going to be starting on the map number 1. That is, of course, going to be the one that is called Arabia. So yeah, right now I got the actually recorded game exactly from him as he was uploading just about now. So let's just start and, of course, get on with the game number 1. So let's just note the Fog of War because we are of course starting on Arabia, which is a map that is quite conducive to stealing boars and whatnot. And it's going to be a dry version. I usually like the green one a bit more, but yeah, why not? Yeah, we're going to be still seeing an interesting game between Belgium B and France A, and these are going to be played by players with names of Ekes for BZH and Sito for French, and for Belgium it's going to be Genghis Sam and Litlio and Filthy. And apparently we didn't really get a spectator dashboard. What's the reason for that? Right now, because it somehow turned itself off. Yeah, not anymore. So we are back on with it. And of course everything that we need for the game to see everything moving on the map, and even more than that. So in the meantime, of course, Little Leo is going to be at the bottom. He's apparently in the pocket. He's going to be playing with Genghis Sam and Filthy for the Belgium A, and they are complaining about, like, yeah, there was a lag in the game, and that was the reason, of course, that we have seen a bit of switches with the players a bit later into the match. So in the meantime, of course, we are right now looking at the civilizations of Chinese, Huns and Persians for the Belgian, or rather for the French team. For the Belgians, it's going to be Huns, Spanish and Persians. So Spanish versus Chinese, interesting, but yeah, both are quite viable on Arabia in here. And so far we don't really see all that much of a stealing going on, apparently. Who is actually on the flanks. That's going to be VZH against Filthy. Filthy has been both of his boars quite forwardish, so definitely not a great news for him. As otherwise, of course, BZH, he is exactly the same. He's also having forwardish boars, and he's having also quite forwardish both stones, yeah, on both sides of the screen. And on top of that, he's also having forwardish gold, quite forwardish. Right? On top of that, it's not really the same for Filthy, as even though he does have a forward gold as well, it's not really that bad. It's not that bad, and definitely could be a whole lot more problematic for BZH at the top side of the map. On the left flank, it's going to be Sito against Genghis Sam, with Sito having what in forward? Not really that much. He's having back gold, apparently. BZH right now going for loom, apparently, or whatnot. Or not really going for it, not really sure. But yeah, he doesn't have the loom, so he's going to be having to be a whole lot careful. Yeah, right now he's having it, so that he isn't really surprised by anything. But we're not getting the resources or other upgrades, apparently. Hopefully it's just some kind of mistake in here, but it apparently sometimes can happen, and we are on the recorded game. So yeah, let's just deal with that. Maybe you're not gonna get the extra population information and resources and whatnot, but still, you might be just having to do it old school. Why not? Why not? Bit of a scouting right now for BZH so that he actually sees who is going to be the one who is next to him, who is going to be his opponent, and it's going to be, of course, the Han. And since he is playing the Persians, yeah, well, we are probably going to be seeing archers from the Han. Maybe we could be just as well going for scout cavalry, but the Persians, he probably will be rushing into the castle age to get into the knights, and before that, quite probably some scout cavalry raiding rather than anything else. Attempted a bit of a shot by Filthy, didn't really work out all that much for him. As well, the Green Scout is going to be right now checking out what Sito is going to be doing, and potentially was hoping that he might be even stealing a boar, but apparently not going to be happening, because the second one is already been right now lured right next to the TC, and as the first one is going to be finished exactly on time, this is actually very nice timing, he's going to be continuing with it, and he's even letting decay one of the foot from the boar in there. Yeah, well, he can apparently afford it. That's at least what he's right now thinking. Alright, so the pocket players are going to be Ekes for the French team, who is going to be playing as the Chinese, and for the opposing side is going to be the Spanish. So basically the different civilizations are going to be playing as the pockets, which is of course kind of great, as especially for the Spanish, because the Spanish will be having free time to go into faster castle, drop the castle, and go for the conquistadors as is usual. In the meantime, pushing the rear, trying to make his scout as useful as possible in this age, because of course he doesn't need to scout all that much as a pocket position. Who needs to scout are the flanks, and they are definitely doing exactly that. Both Sito and Genghis Khan, so that they are going to be having a bit of fun with each other in there. On the right, scouting, of course, by Red. Filthy just now discovering that he's going to be against BZH. BZH has already found it a bit before, and he has already scouted also that barracks are going to be coming up for Filthy, and that will result into a bit of a drush. Is there going to be drush in turn? Probably not. Because so far we don't see any barracks being dropped, and is somebody else going to be drushing? Not green. Ah, probably is going to be drushing. Sito is going to be happening to drush, as already, yeah. These barracks should be getting up in numbers with the militias inside of them pretty soon. They already are. Second going to be coming up, and third is already clicked in, as he's going to be also advancing a bit later into the next age, but that usually means that once you are drushing, you are going to be aiming for a bit faster castle age. Kind of interesting from the flank position, of course, because you would be expecting that he might be actually wanting to go for the archers. We're gonna see if that's going to be happening or not, because of course the pocket position is going to be coming for castle definitely, and he's going to be needing a bit of protection from Filthy, and if that's not gonna come, that will be resulting in some very unfortunate circumstances for the whole Belgian B team. Yep, that's going to be the drush. It's already coming up. And how is it looking right now with the defense from the Prussian? Well, is he going to be trying to defend by militias as well or not? So far I wouldn't discount that possibility. Yeah, he's definitely going for it as well. So he's going to be hoping that he can out-micro his opponent, but we're gonna see that pretty soon. As in the meantime, of course, Purple is already going to be drushing on this side of the map, trying to catch his opponent Genghis Khan off guard, and it seems like that it's going to be exactly working, because he doesn't have any kind of palisades in there, but it has to be said he does have a surplus of villagers. But yeah, for that he will first have to actually stop gathering, and that's exactly what the purple player wants to achieve. So as you can see, we are not unfortunately getting any kind of upgrades on this version of the recorded game, so yeah, unfortunately it didn't really catch up all that well, the spectator dashboard, but yeah, we're just going to be seeing as the map advances how it's gonna go. We're at least gonna get the number of villagers in the count at the bottom. In the meantime, of course, Drush is going to be working, well, not really that well, of course, for Red, because of course BZH is on top of him, and since he's receiving a bit of help from Eke, yeah, we can kind of guess this is going to be just enough to push him back, and not any kind of damage to the economy is going to be dealt, which is usually resulting in basically a failed rush. But at least he did force the spend of resources into BZH to get his own militias in there, and is of course counting as well. But if he doesn't somehow micro this properly, he's going to be losing the remaining units as well. And then basically all three remaining drushers, or rather drushers to be, are going to be right now emerging victorious, and they exactly are, and they are going to be switching into Red, and Red is the one who is going to be in pretty deep trouble. He's trying to wall himself in, but he's of course spending a ton of resources, because this is not easy for him. He's wide open on both sides, both front and on the right side, as the few lages are right now coming in from the players. And that means that I guess he's going to be having a bit of a free reign inside the opponent's base, but it's a question of time for how much longer. Because of course, even though he is in the feudal age, he is going to be facing an opponent in the feudal age as well. And Genghis Khan is already preparing as the Persian with some spearmen and some scout cavalry for basically the standard build-up that he wants. Yeah, BZA just now talking about the knights in there. Well, that's of course expected from a Persian. What else would he be doing? As the Drushers are right now going to be attempting to push through into the opponent's base, and they definitely will be exactly on time. As unfortunately, yeah, this is not going to be finished for Red, and Red, even though he has invested a lot into the walling, Yeah, well, unfortunately, not really going to do anything significant for you just now. A bit later, of course, it's going to be useful against potential raids. But yeah, this early walling is not really going to be doing any kind of good service for you, and it's pretty much a whole lot of wasted wood for you. So sucky for him. Good news for the French team. And what else is going to be happening in here? Well, apparently a bit of help by Little to Genghis Sam, who is going to be trying to help his teammate against all those Drashas from Sito, who has lost basically all the units in here apparently. Looking at the purple decaying close in there. But yeah, it definitely did serve its purpose. And since he's in the feudal age, he is going to be right now annoying his opponent a bit better than just the militias with the archers. Yeah, gonna get rid of the Wolfie, so that he isn't any kind of spy in there, and potentially even a bit of an annoyance once there is going to be some engagement. And well, that is definitely something that Genghis Khan, rather Genghis Sam, and not Genghis Khan, is going to be looking to exactly make happen. But in the meantime, villagers need to retreat because they are not in a good spot. But with the very low archers, unupgraded attack, it's going to be kind of hard to kill anything. He's just going to be annoying and trying to basically make sure that the villagers are gathering as small time as possible. In the meantime, yeah, right now looking at yellow, trying to scout around a bit so that he potentially sees what he needs to see inside Little Yo's base. As he will be probably expecting maybe Ekes advancing into Castle Age. BZH was also advancing just a bit before. And Little Yo in the pocket also coming into Castle Age. And he is close by. He should be having enough for the castle in just a matter of moments. Yeah, if he deposits it quite soon, he's going to be having enough. And he's going to be dropping a castle probably next to the stone because he needs to protect it for potentially extra town centers. That's going to be crucial for him, or maybe just next to a gold mine, which is also right now going to be needed a bit of protection. So gold is going to be the choice, and town center is going to be the choice, of course, for Eke as the Chinese. He's going to be just attempting to boom next to the gold mines, and of course trying to protect himself through potentially some chemos against some conquistadors and knights that are definitely going to be coming. First though, it's going to be a few knights, as he does want to apply pressure on his opponent as fast as possible. Well then, green is finding his way inside Purple's base, as Sito was definitely unsuccessful with this bit of raiding. Even though he's still there, trying to be annoying, it's not really working all that much for him. He does have a second flank of archers coming from the left. But yeah, so far I would be really thinking that a bit more effective is going to be the green player, even though there is still a bit of protection to be had. Through all those pikemen and the archers that are left as guard at home. Castle ages for pretty much everybody. Just Sito and Filthy are a bit behind with Genghis Sam as well. Oh, he's actually still the militias alive for BZH. Kinda interesting. It's just going to be eating population limit at this stage, I'm thinking. Not really all that effective unit now, but in the meantime, of course, with the still unfinished walling, unfortunately for Red, he's right now going to be under attack by the knights, and even though he does have the archers, they are definitely not powerful enough to deal with the Castle Age unit, and we are going to be switching into Filthy to see if he finally gets into the next age. Yeah, he already is in. He has just advanced a moment ago. And how is it looking with the Conquistadors? Already 3 up. He did kill at least one of the scout cavalry from Eke. That's about it. Going to be coming with the Conquistadors to help his teammate, and that's exactly going to be needed. And well, Conquistadors, they are pretty good, even against knights. And even with the very weak archers right now, it should be kind of enough if he plays it correctly. But yeah, he's trying to desperately finish the wall, which just now, well, yeah, not going to be working. He did at least get one of those up, but especially looking at this number of the knights, it's definitely not going to be enough for anything significant. So let's see how right now yellow is going to be playing this. Right now BZH right now telling him to go back, as that's going to be needed a bit of extra help, and that's exactly what he is going to be supplying to the battle. And the double knights, that's going to be a bit more than the archers with the Conquistadors could be handling, even with the archers just now coming into the upgraded age with the crossbowmen. So archers from purple actually on the left. How's it looking with purple? He's still not in castle. Just now clicking in. Well, he could definitely use an upgrade in there. As could Genghis Sam, it has to be said. Yeah, he's not even advancing. And he's still having just 108 points, or rather 100 food. Definitely not enough for him. But it seems like that so far the defense for Filthy is successful. And we are going to be probably seeing a bit of a switch of yellow into the pocket position. Exactly as we are looking at the minimap. And that seems like a pretty good idea. Because he needs to somehow lure away all the conquistadors, or at least make sure that not any kind of new conquistadors are coming there. They're just going to be staying inside the blue's base, and that will basically open the opportunity for blue to continue raiding onto red and be as annoying against the archers as possible. Okay, this is pretty decent number of archers actually. Green's still not advancing, but Sito is going to be there pretty soon. Building yet another archer range up. He's going to be right now at 3, and it seems to be working quite alright as he has dealt with apparently the raiden inside his base, and so far it's going quite alright for him. Looking for example at the economy, which is the only thing that we are going to be seeing on the spectator dashboard right about now, or overlay, is going to be 59, 40, 38 for the French team, and for the opponent, for the Belgians, 36 times 234. So you can already see that the economies are a whole lot better for the French, especially the pocket player is quite stronger, and that usually means a significant advantage for the teams. Okay, a bit of scouting by the Conquistadors, trying to find if they can be killing something on the wood line. Potentially could, but they still need to be aware of the town center, because the range of the Conquistadors is not anything great, just 6, and that's of course less than the 8, or rather, is the same as the 6 of the town center, but still nothing great altogether, because of all the extra attack. Crossbowmen coming in with also the same range. But yeah, the knights from BZH are already coming up, and they are going to be trying to get rid of all of this, but probably will be needing some extra siege, as even though he was going for monastery, trying to basically even steal some conquistadors from his opponent, which is something that usually does happen, it's probably not going to be anything major in the next minutes. A lot of town centers for him, 1, 2, 3. For blue, that's kind of standard, but the crossbowmen right now from Sito are going to be pretty problematic for his opponent right about now. Yeah, because you can see that green is still in the feudal age. He doesn't seem to be just ready to be actually standing against his opponent, Genghis Sam. 600, he's getting there for the castle age, but still, he is way off, and he's definitely going to be needing some kind of assistance very soon. In the meantime, this is going to be a slaughter of villages, whereas next to purple, or rather next to teal, there's the different color in here. Yeah, there was a bit of an attempt of actually both Eke and BZH trying to go at him. Not exactly sure why I'm saying Eke and then BZH, where Eke is French, BZH is English, so that's going to be BZH, yeah, that's going to be French, if I remember correctly. The alphabet in French, actually, that I learned, yeah, so BZH, that's how I'm going to be calling him from now on, if I don't forget. And together with Eke, yeah, well, it seems like that right about now they are actually going somewhere where they shouldn't be. Filthy with Litlio. This is definitely not going to be working. And because right now, BZH is going to be quite fine to do whatever he wants, and he's probably just now getting enough army hidden, and he's just getting rid of some pesky crossbowmen that were just split off from the main army, and once he's done with that, he's going to be helping his teammate, and maybe, just maybe, he's not going to be having to do that at all, because Yellow is doing quite a good job himself, getting up the army, and Teal will just go for the enemy army, or rather enemy base, and get rid of that. In the meantime, of course, Sito is having a full-on stranglehold on green. Green is just having, right now, losing all the scout cavalry guys, and, well, cavalry archers are apparently going to be the unit of choice for purple. Just about now he's going to be switching from the crossbowman, and as the hunt, that definitely makes a whole lot of sense. Well, yeah, green not having any kind of easy game in front of him. He's been dropped to just 23 villages, and look at how Eke is at 87 already. Oh, well, that's even almost 40 more than the best from the Belgian team, from Filthy. And you can kind of guess where this is going to go from here. So green is more or less contained. as blue is going to be forced to retreat from the raiding on Eke, as Eke does have enough army right about now, and he has already gotten rid of pretty significant amount of crossbowmen from the red. Yeah, apparently wasn't a good idea for him to actually switch the forces into 2 squads, as it's going to result into pretty brutal raiding from BZH, BZ Ash, and Eke very soon as well. Even though he does have the reinforcements, he's preparing himself with the monastery. It's probably not going to be fast enough, I'm thinking. Probably not. University coming up with all the knights just now getting there. Genghis Khan finally hitting Castle Age. Oh well. Oh well. Definitely going to be exactly on time. But yeah, the army is definitely missing as well. And even though he would be liking to get up the knights to help him against all those crossbowmen and the cavalry archers, is probably not going to be enough, as the tower is the only defense that he has, with the one at the bottom next to gold as well, and Conquistadors from his teammate as well. As all this yellow is just now going to be coming into the flank player on the right, and together with all those knights from Bezetash, should be more than enough. And the militia still very much alive. Still very much alive from the ROR player. Maybe they're just going to be fighting in the end as well. Let's see. See, total destruction in here. As we are just now getting into the part where we actually need to go into the other part, and it's apparently going to be pretty short because we have already seen the GGs. So let's see about that. Let's load the second part. And let's see how long that's going to be. Okay, so we are continuing exactly where we left. And yep, we are just looking at the slaughter of all the crossbowmen in there, with the GGs apparently continue to be called in here. And is it really going to be that? Yep, the GGs are literally right with the drop in here. And this is going to be it for the match. So this was very nicely played by the French team. And even though there were some chances for the Belgian team, especially with the raiding on Bezet Ash and Eke a bit before by the Conquistadors, and pretty decent number of crossbowmen from Filthy. Yeah, well, the raiding from the French was just a whole lot better, and especially the brutal stranglehold by Sito on Genghis Khan. Yeah, well, Genghis Khan probably wasn't all that happy to be playing that kind of game. That was very tough on him. Very tough indeed. You can see it was just ending at 20 villages, whereas all the rest were having at least like almost triple of that, if not more. Yeah, well, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens, but yeah, that's about that. Let's check the achievements then. Where Eke definitely deservedly winning, because he was a very strong pocket player. And his knights, they were definitely a force to be reckoned with. Strong economy, very strong economy overall. And also the fastest castle age from him. By just 6 seconds, but still. Fastest castle age. Again, well, at the same time, Genghis Khan, he did have the fastest feudal age. And unfortunately, somewhere in there, it went wrong for him. And he wasn't able to keep up. Okay then, GG.